after this, I'm gonna finish some new songs, and there's some small writing still ahead of us that we have to do. But most of the part of the songs are done, are like in demo form. But the songs that we have released so far are gonna be on the new album as well.
Oh, great! Okay. Hey guys, James Wilson-Taylor here for Roxanne. We are backstage in Glasgow today with In Temptation and Evanescence, finally on tour in the UK at long last. I'm delighted to say Sharon joins me now. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Lovely to see you, lovely to see you. Let's start there with the obvious, shall we? Touring stopped for a minute for obvious reasons. You guys must just be delighted to finally be back in the UK playing some live shows again like this.
Most definitely. It's really almost surreal sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, everybody's so close to each other. And yeah, it's actually the old normal. You know,
yeah.
But it's you appreciate it way more than, of course, than we did in the past. Now you realize how much we've missed it all.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like a real event, obviously, you know, with Evanescence and yourselves on the lineup. It's one of those lineups where you're like, chances are, if you're a fan of one of those bands, you're probably a fan of both of them. It feels like a real kind of dream pairing.
There's a lot of comparisons with between the bands. Also, some differences, of course. But I think we have the similar fans mostly. I think.
Yeah.
I hope.
And with the UK specifically, I feel like, you know, whenever you guys come over here on tour, or you're doing festivals or whatever it is, always such a lovely reception. It's got to be particularly nice to not just be touring again, like we say, but actually be back in the UK now in front of those crowds too. Yeah,
that's most definitely true. We have a really loyal following here in the UK, and I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd when I was like, oh yeah, that's Scully, and that's them, and oh, they're coming here as well. It's like from Finland even, but also for people from, you know, from the UK that I know, like Scully, like I said, this is a nickname from someone.
Sure.
And but you know, a lot of familiar faces, and it's even in such a big event, and it's like big venues. It's really. Really lovely.
Yeah, almost a second homecoming in a way. It's really, really nice to see. Well, let's talk about kind of what's been going on. Obviously, a little bit of new music out there already with Don't Pray For Me. Tell me a little bit about writing process behind that one. When did that track kind of come together, and what was the thinking behind it, really?
Well, I wrote an essay a year back about for Women's Day, International Women's Day, for one of the metal magazines here in the UK, and they asked me like, okay, you can talk about anything. And so I just took a subject, and I chose for abortion actually,
right.
And I really dived into it and was more like, okay, how does it really go about in different countries, and I saw a lot of laws changing in Poland, and you know, especially religious parties trying to. You know, trying to change laws so people can't have sex education in schools anymore, but also they can't have an abortion, even in the most worst cases. And it's changing all over the world, also in America. And it felt a little bit, I just had been watching The Handmaid's Tale.
Right, sure.
So all these things just boiling up like, okay. So just thinking how that there are similarities about a lot of things, and also a lot of differences, of course. But it just made me want to write about religion in the first place, because the fact that people are always telling other people how to live, and abortion is just one of those things. But it's a lot of things in a lot of countries that I go to tour, and I feel like a lot of kids have a really hard time growing up trying to be who they want to be. And I think it starts already before they are born, you know. It's like, what kind of circumstances do you get the chances like anyone else should get? A loving family, were you welcomed when you were born? You know, those kind of things. It's very important. And anyway, but people telling you what to be and who to be and what to believe, it just puts a real stamp on your life, I think. And it can really... take the air out of life also. So it's like, just the song is about, don't tell me what to believe, don't tell me what to do. It's just let everybody be free, and there will be nicer people in the end, especially kids when they're growing up, and you give them the space to think for themselves.
Yeah, a powerful and relevant message for sure. I'm so glad to see bands expressing that. It's actually something that you and I would say Amy Lee very much share, in that actually using your platform in that way and powering through music to actually spread messages that clearly your audience are going to appreciate and are very, very important to get out there.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, there's also a lot of people that come to our shows that are religious and have their question marks about these kind of songs, of course. But what I do love is to have like a chat with you about it, or anyone from the audience, like, what is the songs about? Because, you know, maybe someone is religious, and I would love to talk about it, because it is important to share those ideas, I think.
Absolutely. No, so important to share those ideas. And in terms of the music side of it, obviously we've had that new track there. I hear like the next album, you guys, what kind of stage are you at the minute? I know there was writing taking place and everything.
Yeah, after this I'm going to finish some new songs, and there's some small writing still ahead of us that we have to do, but most of the part of the songs are done, are like in demo form. But the songs that we have released so far are going to be on the new album as well.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be one package.
So that's the first taste we've already kind of got there.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Because I guess going back a little bit, Resist was 2019? So you kind of, you got lucky in a way in terms of being able to release them, because, right before obviously the world changed in so many ways. But I guess looking back on that, what kind of learning points did you take away from that record going? Was there anything you discovered making that one that you thought, oh, maybe I want to try that again, or push against it in some way? What were the learning points there?
The learning points for me was like really, discovering that I should be even more open than we've been before to new influences, and even looking further than you probably think of our music genre can get.
Right.
And getting even certain kind of contemporary kind of music into the music, and then making it sound really renewing again. Those kind of things are important, and just discovering new bands also because of it. You find some bands that you liked, and then discovering new bands that inspire you, and that was really cool. We've been working with And Is Okay, for instance. That's one of the bands that really inspired us to write some songs, because not especially them, but the whole genre that they're in is really a different way of metal that we didn't know that much, and was really like, wow, this is really cool, so let's try a little bit of that as well, and implement it into your own kind of way of writing and your own kind of sound, and it becomes something new again a little bit. And it's nice to have some new flavors in there.
Yeah, so interesting. I guess we saw that a little bit back then, like you say, also collaborators and things. I do want to mention our boy, Mr. Jacoby Shaddix, as well, because what a talented guy, and someone as well who has been really, really kind of open in conversations I've had with him about how he wants to develop and like you say, cite newer artists, work with as many different people as possible. What was that? Yeah, what was that working experience like with him specifically?
Well, we never met in the studio.
But remotely?
No, we did it from a distance, unfortunately. But we had a lot of contact with each other while he was doing it. But we met in Gaspop, which is a metal festival in Belgium, of course. And we were just side by side in the backstage, and we got in a conversation, and it was really nice. And we stayed in contact. Like, okay, we wrote that song, and I thought like maybe he can do it. But we didn't have much contact in the studio like you normally would have. He's in America. It's like too far away, but nowadays we have all this technology, which is great.
Exactly, it makes life so much easier now. You can get these things done. Well, it leads me on to another collaboration that obviously recently Asking Alexandria hopped on that track, obviously a reworked version of kind of one of their songs. Tell me a little bit about that. Did they approach you directly? What was the situation there?
Well, they did through management, of course, but the funny thing is that Ben, the guitar player, he used to live in Dubai. And we played there on a festival called, let me think, what's it called again? Desert Rock Festival.
Oh, okay. Appropriate for Dubai. Yeah. Okay, yep, there we go.
And it was the most crazy festival we've ever played anyway. But it was really funny, and it's unfortunate that they don't have it anymore. But he was there in line getting his album signed, apparently. Years and years back when he was still a teenager, and he liked our music, and then he moved to England at a certain point, and he just thought this would really work with my voice, and I had put them actually on my Sweat It Out workout Corona playlist on the streaming platforms. And maybe they saw that or something, I don't know. Or maybe it just happened that he felt like, okay, this might be working together. And I really liked the band. Never knew that it was him, of course. Yeah. But that was nice, like a full circle again. And then he asked me that. That was really lovely.
Well, lovely story. I love it when that works out, kind of things like that. So that's really, really cool to hear that. That's excellent. I want to look forward a little bit. So next year you're going to be, of course, returning to the UK, not just for Download Festival, but it's the 20th Download Festival, 20th anniversary.
How cool.
So cool. What a lovely honor to be able to, and like we say about the UK, as well as I do, like Download Festival in particular, it's such a staple in the calendar over here. So many, do you have any kind of particular memories of that one in particular?
Well, that it's always like this massive bill they have, like amazing bands, but also crowd always really, really into it and fanatic, but in a positive way. really this vibe that's really energy, a lot of energy.
Yeah.
That's what I remember of. And I remember having some technical difficulties once when we played in the tent, and that we made it, but we felt like 20 years older afterwards because it had a delay of 20 minutes or something, or maybe a half hour. It's like, oh my God, we can't play if this doesn't work out in the end. So, but it did. So only good memories about Download.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you played? I'm trying to think back when that would be.
That was 2009. I probably think that was also the day that we had problems.
Oh, it was the first time.
Yeah, the first time.
Real trial by fire on that one. There we go. Nice to be coming back 20th anyway for that one. That's going to be a big one. I'll leave you with this, Sharon, because obviously you've got a show to get ready for. But in terms of that new music then, I know you won't give too much away, but when do you think we might get to hear a little bit more?
Well, at least next year there's going to be a new album.
Great.
Don't know when.
Sure.
You know, people always like, when, which month, which day? You know, it's like, sorry, I don't know it until the minute. But it's more like, because we always have a bit of delay then again. And it's like we have to postpone again. So I don't say any date anymore. It's more like next year it will be. And there will be another single, maybe one or two before the album comes out even. So
exciting times ahead.
Yeah,
exciting times ahead. Well, like I say, delightful to have you back in the UK. Have a great show tonight. I'm sure we'll catch up again soon.
Yeah,
right?
Hope so.
Good to see you. Right? Sharon, everybody.